Hey guys, Scott Fishman here. Today we have a great guest heading into Samhain on October the 28th. He is the junior heavyweight champion for the NWA. Colby Corino, how are you today?
I'm doing great. How are you?
I'm good. I appreciate the time. These are exciting times for the NWA. Right off the bat, I just wanted to kind of get your thoughts on the news that broke yesterday. It hasn't been confirmed by Billy Corgan or the NWA in general, but Billy Corgan did tease that he did have TV deals in the works, namely two. It was reported this last 24 hours that CW was the network, which is an incredible top network. A lot of potential new eyes, reality show potentially, as well as Power moving. What are your thoughts on that? What kind of vibe are you getting? Have you been told anything? Kind of give us a little peek when it comes to yourself and the communication that you've had.
We as the wrestlers know just about as much as everyone else on the internet, but for like the backstage murmurings are that we do have a TV deal, and it's a couple TV deals too. It's for the reality show and the Power, but we don't know where it's going to land. The CW thing was news to me too when I read it, but I guess time will tell if that was true. I'm excited for what's about to happen with NWA. I think
Yeah.
we're about to return to TV, and that's a pretty big thing.
Um, so have you find that there were kind of like cameras? Like, did you get a vibe that a reality show was kind of where do you have people that are documenting things backstage or anything that was abnormal to you, or has it been pretty business as usual at the tapings?
We've definitely noticed some cameras that aren't our camera crew around. I'll leave it as that.
Okay. What I love about your story is a lot of people can relate to it. I mean, there was a point where you did, you make no bones about it. You're pretty forward about it. Hitting rock bottom, having running with a law, drugs, things like that. But you came on the other side, and if anybody can take from that story, that's incredible to see. It seems like you're really rededicated yourself. I'm a firm believer in things happening for a reason. There was a lot of talk about you going to WWE, but here you are in the NWA and you're the junior heavyweight champion. It seems like you have great momentum and you're on a roll right now. So talk about just kind of put in perspective everything that you've been through to what's going on right now in your life and just where your head is at.
100%. I agree with you. I think everything in the universe happens for a reason, and everything happens the way it should. I don't. Maybe Colby going to WWE at the moment wasn't the right time, and maybe it'll happen in the future. I don't know. But landing in NWA right now is, I think, exactly where I need to be. Winning that heavyweight championship was something I needed to do for myself. Like ever since the belt came back in March last year, it felt like that I was always chasing after it. I felt like I challenged for it like 7 times, and I never won it. But I always felt like maybe selfishly that like I should have won it, and that I like that the belt was it was something I needed to cross off my resume. It's something that I needed to do to take a step to the next level. And being able to return to NWA and mark that off my resume, and who knows what else is in the works. Like I love being the junior heavyweight champion, but eventually maybe I got to beef up and win the belt that my dad had, the world's heavyweight champion. Like there's things that I want to do outside of WWE before I go there, and they're the there's so much of my wrestling history and like what I've watched is not WWE. It was the indies or stuff from Japan. So there's so many things on my wrestling bucket list that I have to cross off, that I feel like that I have to do to have a complete career and a complete portfolio
Mhm.
before I sign off and sell my soul, so to say.
It's
And
funny you say that. I mean, your dad was known working the independents. I mean, ECW, of course. He went to the path, not taken often, and he made such a success between the MLW too, such a legacy when it came to that. So it's interesting you say that. It seems like you've been really, having a great go when it comes to the independents. Being in the business for as long as you have, what can you say about how does it kind of feel the independent scene? It seems like with the advent of social media and all these different avenues where wrestlers can get their name out and make money, it makes it really exciting that you mentioned you don't have to be a part of a WWE to be a successful pro wrestler in 2023.
No, 100%. There's so much opportunity everywhere. I think right now is a great time for all of wrestling. You got two big TV companies. You got huge international companies that are doing great numbers all over the world. You have places that you don't have to work for WWE or AEW to make a living in professional wrestling. Like wrestling is my job, and I support my family with what I do. And I'm making the most money that I've ever made, and or was ever offered to me for that matter. And it's there's so much opportunity out there for the people that dedicate themselves and go out there and want to grind and hustle. And like right now, like Matt Cardona is the king of that, and he's preaching that on his social media. If you take a look at that, and I think a lot of people need to take notes after him too.
Yeah. What kind of relationship do you have with your dad today? How proud is he of you right now?
Uh, I mean, we have a pretty good relationship. I can't say for sure how proud he is of me, but he tells me pretty frequently. He's not one of those people that are very hard and like only I've only heard it once in my life. Like he's always been one of my biggest supporters. Sometimes I think he's too nice to me and too easy on me, and like sometimes I'll send him stuff like and I'm trying to get his feedback as a coach and a producer from where he is.
Yeah.
And I feel like he's just too soft with me. Like I have to send it to someone else for someone to be the realness.
Right, right. How is it, being a generational talent in the business? I mean, Kerry Morton, someone that you've wrestled before. Do you think it's easier or harder now than it was years ago?
Um, I don't know. I think it's with just like what I was saying earlier with the opportunity for everyone. Like for second generation wrestlers, you have that in. But just like everyone else, if you don't dedicate and you don't work yourself, you're not going to pan out. Like there's definitely some people that out there that I'm sure that you could think of that are just you have no other accolades other than being their father's kid, you know? And I try very hard to not be that way
Hmm.
and try to be like a complete wrestler himself. And I want people to look at me as Colby, or I want people to look at me and my dad, or I want people to look at my dad as Colby Carino's dad rather than me as Steve Carino's son. I think that's what I was
Yes.
trying to say the whole
Yeah,
time.
yeah, yeah. That makes sense. Yeah. I gotta ask him, on social media you posted, you took a trip to the hospital after, Deadlock Pro Wrestling. What's the prognosis? Was it 10 stitches that you had? I mean, and now you seem to be doing okay now, just another day at the office, but how, talk about just what that was like.
Yeah, that match was a little wild. The barbed wire really got me. You can see another big old
Oh wow.
scratch right there on my head. Luckily, didn't need stitches for that one. But yeah, my arm's a little. Sorry for the graphic content right now, but
Well,
it's all
yeah,
stitched
for
up right
anybody that says
here,
wrestling's fake, there you go. That's not a
and
makeup job. That's not special effects.
yeah, but they
So how
told
are you
me
feeling right now?
I'm feeling all right. It's a little sore. Can't don't have the full range of motion back, but so tomorrow I still have a match and I have a full weekend. I have three bookings this weekend.
I was gonna
So we're
say,
gonna
I see
tape it up
you're
tight.
facing fodder this weekend too.
Oh
I
yeah.
saw, yeah.
On
So,
a Saturday at AML Wrestling. So I got a full weekend to on Friday for KFW. I'm wrestling Hunter Drake, which is actually a death match too. So
oh
no mess
God.
for the wicked here. Saturday fought with fodder, like we said, and then Sunday I'll be at PWF in Newport, North Carolina, versus CW Anderson.
Oh wow, that's gonna be like a full circle moment, I'm sure, with your dad's history. That'll be an interesting one.
Oh, 100%. Me and CW have worked together for quite a few times in the past few years in North Carolina, and he's definitely always been that like uncle figure to me. And whenever we meet in the ring, it's pretty special. So I'm excited for it. Hopefully, I
And
keep
then
my stitches in.
And of course, we're close to Samhain, the next big show, as we head into the we're right in the middle of the Halloween season. I love themed events, so I was excited that, NWA is kind of doing their own thing. Talk about just the match itself with Joe Alonzo. He's kind of made thing that the story that's playing out right now is, he's kind of taking digs at you personally, whether it's your family, the family's legacy. There's a line in pro wrestling, but when you can blur those lines, it kind of makes for an interesting story. So, what are your thoughts on him as an opponent, the match, and then just, having that story that you guys are telling with him involving your family and everything you've been through?
So before I say anything, like I have to say that like just the fact that he's in NWA means that he's at a certain level in professional wrestling. He's not just some chump. But with that said, the levels that me and him are on are completely different. He's I've been wrestling for 15 years this year. I do this is my what I do for a living. I've been doing this full time since I turned 18, and man, I go pretty hard. Like I don't have an easy schedule, as you can tell with as I'm all sliced up and about to wrestle 3 more times this weekend and defend my championship. But I think the fact that he has to take digs at my family is a little bit of an overcompensating factor. Like, I live in the South, so there's a lot of big trucks around. So I know a little bit about overcompensation. And that's exactly what I see with like all these promos, like he has to say all this stuff because he can't get people excited with what he does in the ring. And he wants to sit there and say he's a good basic wrestler and that's what draws tickets. Like, I don't have a good fundamental base. Like I have a school where I train 30 plus students every 3 times a week and teach them how to be wrestlers, and they're going out and making their names now. So not only am I a fantastic basic wrestler, but I got all the bells and whistles too. And something that he doesn't have is he wants to say he sells tickets, but how many shows has he main evented that have set attendance records in the buildings for the promotions? Because I don't like to toot my own horn a lot, but when it happens 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 times, like maybe it stops being a coincidence, and maybe it's because I sell tickets. So maybe he should watch who he's saying what to, because I'm not the dude to mess with in the ring or outside of the ring.
What can fans expect from the match? I mean, it seems like it's going to be a very physical night in general with a lot of with the way the event's been going to play out. So in your match, what can viewers expect, and just how is it kind of having an event like this where it's within the Halloween season?
So with everything said, these stitches are going to be out for the match. I'm going to be okay by then, 100% ready to go. So that's not going to be a thing of worry about. We got a pillar to post match. What I've been told is that the falls count anywhere inside that building. So I'm going to beat his ass all around that building. I think if you watch me on the independent scene, you know that I can get down and dirty. I know how to bleed. I know I'm a pretty tough MFer. So I don't know about him. I don't see him doing matches like that all the time. I don't see him getting up from bumps and keep going. I don't see him jumping off of 20-foot ladders through tables. I don't think he's got that gene in him. And that's exactly. I've been waiting for the NWA to give me the ball with these type of matches, because frankly I think I'm the best hardcore wrestler in NWA, and I'm not to toot my own horn, but look at everyone else, and you can just tell by looking at my body is just how scarred up I am. I'm war tested. Joe Alonzo has no idea who he's messing with.
You mentioned being this type of wrestler. How is it going home, with the wife and kid? How does it kind of showing them, things that have happened? I mean, going through that. Now you're a dad. I mean, with you being a dad, you kind of approach the business a little different, or?
Yeah, that side of it's a little different. I was all acting all tough a minute ago, but now it usually after this happens, like these shows that usually stream live or something. So by the time I make it to my phone, my phone was blown up by my wife being like, "You got cut. You got, oh my goodness, like how bad is it? You gotta." She hates when seeing me bleed, which is fair. I
Yeah,
guess for a normal person, but man, when you grow up watching your dad do it, it's kind of just like it's second nature to me. It's normal in a sense. Um,
gotcha.
I remember one time they came for a match I had at GCW, and I main evented with Cole Radrick. We had a death match, and after the match, I immediately went over to my merch table to maybe that's where they were sitting, to make like just to tell her that everything I'm all right. Don't let everything scare you. And might have been covered in blood a little bit. My kid walks up to me, goes, "Daddy, boo boos," and I'm just like, "No, no, 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 I'm okay. Like, don't worry." He goes, "Oh, okay." "Daddy, shiny," because he's seeing all like the glass shimmer on my
Ooh,
skin. I'm like, "Don't touch me! No, 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 don't touch me right now."
yeah, yeah. Wow, interesting. When you think about the NWA, it feels like, we're in a new era, with you a part of it. What are your thoughts on, you have EC3 at the top of the mountain right now, Kenzie Page, and yourself. Just talk about what the feeling is, what the vibe is. I mean, we talked earlier about, of course, things on the horizon, but what can you tell us about what the feel? Does the locker room feel a little different than it has in the past couple months, or is it kind of?
Oh yeah, it feels like everyone's like super motivated, and everyone's like excited for what comes next. This new era hashtag is not just it isn't just a hashtag we're throwing out on Twitter. It's like a feeling we have in the locker room. Everyone's super excited for what's to come next. We're all super motivated. We're trying the hardest in the ring, and like we're all being led by EC3. And every interview I do, I have to say that like this man is a hard worker and he leads by example. He's not only is he a hard worker and leads by example, but he is willing to help anyone that wants the help and wants to put in that work. Like he's not one of those people that is protective of his spot, so to say, that you hear about in all these wrestling books or something. Like he wants to bring everyone up with him. He the NWA is on an upswing, and I have a good reason to believe it has something to do with him too. You know, like he has this he has this aura around him that he brings into the locker room that he wants to push everyone up to just into the next level. And I'm here to work for it, just like
Nice.
everyone else is. I think everyone's stepping up to the plate. I don't think anyone in the locker room is not ball game right now. They're ready.
Yeah. And it's great to see Billy Corgan, what he's been doing. I mean, you got to give the guy credit. He's an unabashed pro wrestling fan, and he lets you know it, and he knows the history, and he's passionate about the business and the NWA. I mean, he's had you guys on tour doing matches at his concert shows, just to create visibility, which I know in the past I've talked to him, and not everybody is on board, with pro wrestling, and he still pushes through. And then now with these TV deals, so there was a point during COVID when we were wondering, would the NWA survive? And here we go, from the ashes, rising like a phoenix. All these opportunities are coming about. So that's got to be inspirational for you to kind of see that at the top, that he's really kind of believing in all of you guys.
No, 100%. I think the past few years, I've seen a lot of criticism online that the NWA is a lot of just old TV talent, but now it feels like that was just there for a foundation, and now the ball is being given to the younger people and the people that can take it to the next level, and the new stars are being built right in front of your eyes right now.
Yeah, for sure. And you being one of them right now. So, beyond just the NWA, I know you have a lot of interests. Talk a little about where fans can see you, and what you want to let people know about, whether it's following on social media or any projects that you have coming up that you're particularly excited about beyond just the NWA.
So I just started streaming. I'm actually using my
Saw
setup
that.
right now. I gotta give a plug to that. So that's twitch.tv/Camp Carino, which I gotta say is a name that Billy Corgan came up with. But we never used at NWA, at least yet, because I don't know, it just never fit in. But he had this idea for Camp Carino, and we didn't know what it was, but we found it out. It is now my streaming channel for now.
Nice.
um, so you can find me on social media on X or Twitter at Colby Corino, on Instagram at Colby.Corino, because some little girl has stolen the at Colby Corino on Instagram sign. And you can go find some merch at colbycorino.bigcartel.com.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Colby, for the time. I really appreciate it. I know you have a busy weekend ahead. And of course, next week, with your big show, the NWA, Saw Win, as well as NWA Power. Don't forget, that airs, you can find it on YouTube, Fight, all over. And apparently, you could find it on a new network soon. So we're looking forward to seeing that. So thank you so much for the time. I really appreciate it.